welcome back to the gray space. I'm Zeke. That is Dray.
Yepers.
And we got another fire one for you guys. Fire one for you guys this week. Man,
We got another fire one. So fire.
Yes, it was planned.
Made you stutter. You know what
it was
I'm
planned.
saying?
It was planned all along.
I know. There's a thing I'm supposed to do here. I just got a call. Hold on. I just got a call. I'm getting the card now.
Okay.
Hello? You want me to tell him what? Okay. Cool. They said subscribe to become part of the tribe. Do us right. Hit that like and comment because you are loving the content. Now, make sure y'all hit that link tree and support us everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Spacers. We are back. We are up in this thing.
We are up in this thing, aren't we?
Yeah, man. What's going on, man? What's happening?
Oh, man. Just another beautiful week, man.
Yeah.
Had a good little time off.
Yeah.
We took a week off. I went to Cali, back to Cali, went to Disneyland, enjoyed some Disneyland. Man, I haven't been to Disneyland in 30 years.
Okay.
Cali's always a good trip, man. It's almost always a good trip. It's just Cali vibes.
For sure.
You know,
For sure.
We're from Cali, so we don't live there no more.
Right.
I'm not sure I would want to live there anymore.
Hell no.
But it's the Cali vibe, man.
It is, man.
It
is,
so
for sure.
Going back, it's home.
It is.
It's a second home, or it's the first home. It's a second. You know what I mean? It just holds a special place,
man.
Yeah, it just holds
we
a
love
special
both,
place
you know what I mean?
for sure. So yeah, man, good time, refreshing,
Nice.
just to shake off. Just get out of town, man. Like I think we all need it.
Shake the dust off.
And yeah, man.
Nice. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah,
man.
let's get into it, man. This is gonna be kind of a heavy one, maybe, probably.
Okay.
But
You got a question.
I do have a question.
All right.
And this can go into a lot of different directions, and I kind of hope it does. But in the wake of the shooting in Nashville, Tennessee,
Right.
and another one, and I don't want to get into the gun part of it. I really want to get into more of the mental health part of things, and both from the side of the people who do the acts,
Right.
but also us as well, the onlookers. And the question is, are we broken as a human race, especially in the United States?
Right.
I can't speak for the world. I mean, I have my feelings about the world, but we'll kind of keep it local in the sense
Right.
where we're at in the United States. And, I really want to know if you think if we are a broken people. Just kind of a straight up broad stroke at the moment. Like, do you feel like we are broken?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like if you look at our culture in the United States, it's become this thing of social media and the media and a lot of outside sources, the way we get our news, the way we consume things now is, and we've always consumed them this way, but it's been like almost like in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Now with everything being at your fingertips, it gives us it gives us too much access. And so, and I mean like when I say too much, I mean like literally like too much. Like having access to a lot of things or being able to see things in real time is fine, but there's so much that goes on. And so the amount of stuff that we're taking in at one given at any given time, it's too much. Like
Right.
it's like trying to shove a dictionary through your earlobe. And so there's so much stuff.
I like that, bro.
Yeah.
I do. I like that. That's a interesting way of putting it, because it's information overload.
Yeah.
It's information overload for people who could even handle a lot of stress or a lot of information being taken in, because it's a lot. It's a lot whether you look at it or not too. You know, I kind of pride myself in some sort of sense of not really looking at a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I'm bombarded by a lot of stuff. It's almost impossible to not hear something. Let me just phrase this real quick, because I want to hear what you have to say still.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
But I just think kind of interesting and good little tangent to take off of is, man, you could be at work and people are talking about Ukraine and, you know, what's going on there, and then they have their opinions on it, and you're like, I haven't heard anything about that.
Right.
You know, maybe not whatever their particular little thing that they're talking about, right? You're like, holy crap, man, is that really happening? And if you look into it, you know, just to know factually if the information that you're getting is correct from some source, right?
Right.
Whether it be a friend, coworker, yada yada.
Whatever. Right.
Then you're getting more and more information. You're like, holy, this is actually happening.
Right.
And so I think that's really good and really kind of important. I like that, man. It is. It's a dictionary being shoved through all your senses, like immediately all at once.
Yeah.
So I do find that fascinating.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there's so many layers to this. So let's stay with the school violence stuff. Let's start there. Okay. I'll tell you a quick story and then I'll kind of elaborate on it. But, you know, my daughter came home yesterday, a couple days ago. She goes, yeah, there was an incident at a different high school than the one she goes to.
Here in town?
Very close. Okay. Actually, it was the school she was supposed to go to. And then she obviously, you know, was accepted to the other school. So, where two girls got into a fight, I guess, and one pulled out a razor blade and cut the other one on the head and the face, and multiple lacerations. And, you know, this girl's in the hospital. You know, my daughter's school has metal detectors. A lot of schools now, you know, have metal detectors, have some type of security or law enforcement on grounds now, which I think is going to be a standard thing going forward. And as a parent, I'm glad that schools are taking, you know, these measures, especially, you know, my kids' schools. But then you're sad because they have to. And not to say that things like this didn't happen, but see, a lot of time, I just think that the times that we live in is like, it's crazy what these kids are willing to do now. Okay, so there's always been, you know, people that have dove off the deep end, right?
Well, yeah, there's always been violence in school.
There's always been violence. There's always been violence in school, for sure. But back
Fights,
then,
jumping,
yeah,
people, you know,
yeah.
whatever.
But see, a lot of times this shit was handled outside of school,
right?
Like, unless it was just that, like the level of intensity was that high, and it was like, yo, when I see you at lunch, this on, right? But normally it was after school. We gonna meet at the park. We gonna duke it out, and that's what it was, you know. And sometimes people got jumped, and you know that shit is corny to me. Normally it was a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2 or 3, or maybe we all jumping in, whatever, right? But now when you have, you know, the threat of having weapons, and then you know, to factor in the school shootings, it goes back to this information thing. So it's like, are we are we downloading too much of this information? Like, as far as like when it comes to school shootings. So if you look at it, like Columbine was like the first real one where we all were like, whoa,
right,
whoa, this is different.
Mm-hmm. It was different.
This is what the hell is this? And then like later on, and it was later before another kind of big one happened. And then now it's like we get like 2 or 3 a year, bro.
Yeah,
maybe 4. Right, once a quarter, no joke. And so I think when you talk about the broken part, I'll start with this. I think that I think we're advertising this shit too much.
Mm-hmm. That's part of it for sure.
Like it's an advertisement. Mm-hmm. So yes, you want to bring knowledge and awareness to it, and then obviously it always gets turned political when it shouldn't be. I mean, there has to be some political element to it in some ways because whatever, and we're not going to go down that road. But we know that because of the way our country is set up, that politics are going to be involved with anything of this nature, especially if it's a school. So you have to bring awareness to it so that you hope that it doesn't happen again, or you hope that you put in preventative measures to make sure it doesn't happen again, or try whatever it is. But then that's also an advertisement for the kid who's going through some shit. And there's another level that I want to talk about, but I want you to jump in on this. It's an advertisement for the kid that's going through some shit because now it's a fucking option. That's the thing. That's the thing that's different, right? It's an option along with suicide, which we don't want. Right? But the other option is like kind of how we grew up, and it was like you just fight through it and deal with it. And not, I don't want to sound that to be insensitive, but that is a lot of how the way we grew up, our parents grew up. There were instances and things that happened, but a lot of times, man, people have been through a lot of shit and got through it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I feel like the downloading of information, the advertisement is like, oh, well, they did it, so I can do it too. And
go ahead. And find a way around
dealing with it.
Doing,
talking about whatever, right?
So yeah, I agree. I think that is definitely part of it. We, in some sort of weird way, it's glamorized, right? Like it's put somewhere. And it's not, I don't think it's meant to be that way, but it turns out to be that way for whatever reason. And especially in whose eyes it's looking at it, right?
Right.
And I definitely think that's part of it. I also think there's parts, going back to the social media of all the information, I think the broken part of it too comes into play of what, it doesn't even have to be necessarily violence. Right. It can be, this person's prettier, this person's got a lot more than I do, and you see it over and over and over, right? And you're like, well, I'm taking them out because of jealousy issues.
Right.
Right. And again, that's another broken piece, right? That we as humans are dealing with this sensory overload, right? And seeing all this stuff, seeing, something that might be unobtainable, billions of dollars. I'm not talking millions because I think millions can be obtainable and stuff like that. But maybe billions is not, that's for an elect few. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, besides all that, like just everything, just think of everything that you see. Everything can be misconstrued, right? From a broken person, right?
Right.
And then going and doing a heinous act.
Right.
I want to flip it. I want to flip this back onto us, people who I think we're just as broken in a sense because we go through this and then we forget about it like it's never happened before, right? And we keep having the same same discussion over and over again about the guns. I think it's a worthy discussion. I really do, but I never hardly ever hear anything about us being broken, mental health. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Mental health issues, right?
Okay, cool.
Clearly,
Let's take it there.
Clearly, there's mental health issues in this prominent in this country.
Yes.
That needs to be repaired.
Okay.
I don't know the solution.
Okay.
But I feel like this is the start of it, right?
Okay.
You know, we got to start talking about some of this stuff. Like what is making you so upset, you know?
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm
and
with
even
you.
from our point of view as well, because I think our point of views, you know, and I'm just not saying me and you, I just mean more, and I don't mean this in any other way, more healthy, maybe, you know, thought processes that but I still think there's
100%.
something broken within us because it's see it. Oh, that happened again. Here comes the fight. Tune out. Boop. Done. You know what I mean? Why
do you think that is though? Because I have a theory, but I want to.
Well, I kind of think it goes back to what you were saying before about being political. I think when it becomes super politicized, people tend to check out unless you're really into politics or whatever, right?
Right.
But I think that's part of it. I don't know if there's like do you have something specific that you want to?
Yeah. So we on the same wave now. So when it comes to the mental health part of it, I want to talk about this real quick because, and I'm going to go here a little bit, but I'm not going to stay there. When it comes to the mental health part of it, a lot of times what happens is, they're quick to be like, well, they're having mental health issues, and that's the reason. And so we should have compassion. And I think you have to have compassion for people that are going through things at all times. But the truth is, bro, we're all going through something. And I don't want to discount what any child is going through at that age. But we know, being on the other side of it, being adults now, that from 14 to 18 is a whirlwind of emotions.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Even when your life is good, right? So, that being said, I think we have to be careful of how we address the mental health part of it, because anytime you commit an act of violence, period, you are in a state of a mental health crisis, period. Your mind is saying this is necessary to achieve some type of joy, of feeling of freedom, whatever it is, to get rid of the problem. This is how I'm going to solve this problem. Any act of violence, whether it's fighting with your hands, right? Unless you're a professional, right?
Right.
But using your hands to commit violence or using weapons or whatever. And so there should be no difference. When heinous acts of violence get committed. We should not paint it with the broad stroke of mental health.
Right.
Because that's not used all the way across the board, bro. It's not used all the way across the board.
Right.
And so I think what needs to happen, going to that point of why I think that is yes, does it become too political and people get turned off? Very much so. And it changes the discussion as well, because the discussion, to your point, goes to guns and not to people that we need to be making sure are held accountable. And because of that, because we use the political and we use the mental health, again, the people that are using this, that are doing these things, and I'm just saying in this particular, for just heinous acts of violence, mass shooting, are not, the example is not being set. Right? You need to set the example, and it hasn't been set. whether it's a guy shooting up a church, and then him getting fast food before he gets locked up. You know what I mean? Whether it's a guy being taken in or police not running in to save kids and letting, you know what I mean? And then him being taken into custody without any type of issue. And then not really getting prosecuted at the full extent of the law. Like if people see that, if you see I can do this, and okay, I get in a mental health facility for 5 years,
right,
10 years. Oh, and I'm a kid, so it's probably not even going to be. I'll get juvie. I probably won't get tried as an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then
it's crazy because everything you just said made me think back to the question what I asked about being broken. Like,
right,
legit
that's
is
the part of it.
Yeah, like legit. Everything is like it's just down the line.
It's down the line.
It's like a domino
There's
effect.
so much of it that's broken,
right? Like
that you don't know where to start with the puzzle pieces.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, for sure, bro. And you do become desensitized to it.
You do, man, and it sucks because I was really. And look, man, I'll be the first one to throw myself under the bus with it, and I'm guilty, as charged with it as well. I got totally desensitized with it for whatever reason. This one caught me more off guard than anything else. I'm not saying other ones didn't, especially the earlier ones.
Right.
But then somewhere in the middle, I'm just like, oh, here we go again.
Right.
And then here we go again. And
the first
and
time
it's sad. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like you have that process of like, I can't believe this is happening, and your brain just goes and then like kind of compartmentalizes it and goes and just like kind of shoves it somewhere else. Where it's not the forefront of the thought. And then, but for whatever reason, I heard this is we're broken as a people, and it really just struck a chord with me because. Even though we're talking about mass shootings and violence, right, in schools, but it like to your point, it's happening in churches and nightclubs and yada yada. I mean, it's happening everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
But man, like legit, like when I heard that, I was just thinking, there's just so much stuff that follows from the heinous to down to not so heinous. You know what I mean? Like. Has nothing to do with violence, but just being broken and being lost as a human race.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just as human beings.
So think about this, bro. And I do not, in no way, shape, or form, want to say this, and it mean any disrespect to anybody who has ever been in the military and been overseas. My father was in the military. Super respect. But I say this so to put into some form of context. When soldiers go to war, they have PTSD. A lot of them do, right? And most, for a long time, it went untreated, really untalked about, okay? Whenever you see traumatic things continuously, whether it be in your vicinity or now through television, through social media, you are going to develop some type of PTSD. And I say that because the more shit that we see, the more time a fucking mass shooting happens, that's where the decompartmentalization of it comes in, because you're like, if a soldier goes to war and sees people die, then somebody dying, it affects them the same as it always has, but their reaction to it is different, right? And so, not that we're anywhere on that level, but it is a form of it,
right?
And it can leave you broken to the point where you go, damn, another one? What am I eating for dinner?
Right.
That's it, right? So there is a strong push. Okay, there's something else before I even get into back into the mental health thing, because I do think this is a big part of it. I think fuck it. I think the push for inclusion has become detrimental to how we fucking deal with things.
Do you mean like we're
everybody's good, guys.
Yeah.
I think everybody should feel included. Right? Mm-hmm. I do not harness
I know what you mean.
Any type of emotion towards any type of people. Any type of bad emotion towards any type of people. Whatever your choices are, however you live your life, whatever race you are, I'm good with everybody. But what I'm saying is, when you have this push to just everybody, no, everybody's not good, and everybody don't smell like fucking roses, and that's the truth.
Right.
And so when you put a blanket over people's eyes for as long, the last 15 years and really the latter part of the last 10 years, we're not dealing with things. Mm-hmm. We're not really dealing with things.
Right.
We're doing this, what we're talking about doing, what we're mad at, what we talked about didn't happen. We're doing the same exact thing in a different way. We're just running a different road, but it's parallel to the same shit that we're complaining about that happened with our parents and our grandparents. Well, you just didn't fucking talk about those things. We're not really talking about nothing.
Right.
Because when you can't sit here and be like, well, shit is not hard. Shit is fucking hard, bro. Mm-hmm. Life is hard.
Right.
Every day you're going to get hit by a Mack truck. And if you don't, man, it was a beautiful day.
Right.
God damn, thank you, Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true, man.
And
that's
so
facts,
by us not being honest about how real shit is and how hard shit can be, minus whatever you have to go through because of the choices you make or because of the color of your skin, just as a human fucking being, we're not doing ourselves a true service. We can talk about mental health, but what the fuck are we talking about? Really? Honestly, are we really doing things? And then when you add, well, everybody's got to have a side. You got to stand on one side or another. The fuck you don't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, it is. And
maybe it shouldn't be, but it is.
It is.
Right.
And we got to fucking talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to fucking talk. And so I think that's what adds to the mental health part of it, bro. Mm-hmm. Because we not really dealing with shit. Because yes, therapy is great. Therapy, I think everybody should be in therapy for whatever it is, for their life. Everybody needs a little bit of therapy, right? But everybody also just needs a friend.
Oh yeah,
a family member. And I get it. Not everybody has access to that, or not everybody thinks they have access to that,
right?
And some people actually don't.
This is therapy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to a certain extent, obviously, right?
Right.
When we all have no degree about psychological issues and stuff like that.
Right.
Because sometimes we have a hard time. I think we've talked about this. Yeah, we've done so many podcasts, man. It's, man, just go back, right? And in just all the topics that we've talked about in the past kind of have led to this particular point.
Facts.
Which is, I find very interesting because it's communication, right? Communication is so key,
100%.
Right? And that was one of the very first topics we ever talked, real topics that we really ever talked about 3 years ago, and it's still super relevant today because I feel like a lot of stuff is not communicated well anyways. And it goes on all levels, bro. And it's from parent to child, to teacher to child, to from people in higher, like Congress, and relay down to us, right? I mean, it goes. There's all these weird little chains and threads and everything, right? That go through.
Facts.
And it's just, and you're right. I'm with you. It's just not communicated well at all, right?
Yeah.
We've been told for so many years, and especially I would say for men. We had this discussion. I can't remember who it was with, but I think it was Kathy Blaze, man, where we talked about men's, being okay with their bodies and stuff like that. And men in particular being like, shut up. Don't talk about feelings. You don't have any, basically.
Right.
Be tough and get through it.
Right.
There's a part of that I understand of getting through stuff, right? But there's also another part of it. It's the yin and the yang.
Both
man.
can be true, is my point.
It's a balance, bro.
Both can be true.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you go so far to the other side and be like, oh, it's all it's not all roses.
Right.
And sometimes you do have to barrel through. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do got to hold your shit in. Sometimes you do have to fucking battle.
Right.
Because that's life.
Right.
That's life.
You know when to shut up.
And when you
to
come out of the battle, talk about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
When you come out of the battle, take a deep breath, cry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
God damn, that shit was hard.
Right.
That's when you cry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in the middle of, like, there has to be, to your point, there has to be the balance. We have to deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
We have to deal with things.
Right.
And talk about them.
Right.
We have to do both.
I want to say, because I think this is really important too, man. Like, going through a struggle sucks. I don't, there's no way to other say it than it just sucks going through a struggle. But I tell you what, and this is true because I know it to be true for many years of just dealing with just stupid shit, bad shit, doesn't matter, right?
Right.
It is super rewarding getting out the other side, bro. I don't know what it is, but when you're in it, it's the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that can change your mind.
No.
Nothing.
The world is over.
You could tell me, bro, just wait. It'll get...
and
it's almost like... saying. And listen, it's almost like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, but you learn... You do learn. You're like, okay, yes, I know this sucks. Right. And it's going to suck for... It could be literally hours, but it could literally be months.
It could be a couple years.
Right. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Right.
It circumstances, right? We all struggle, one way or another.
Right.
It doesn't, and it has nothing to do with money and anything like that.
Right.
It can. But it's, people who have money still struggle.
Facts.
I think that's another part of it too. Everybody.
Anthony Bourdain, bro.
There you go. Everybody's got to realize that we all struggle through certain things.
Right.
Certain depressions.
Right.
We all get depressed. I don't care who you are.
Facts.
Now,
whether you recognize it or not.
Right. Now, there is, again, just want to say, there is clinical depression where it gets really bad. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, normal, this shit just sucks. I'm depressed right now. Leave me alone. I got to figure out how to jump through these hoops, And then, having people to bounce stuff off of, love talk. You should always at least find somebody, right?
Yeah.
And if it's not a family member, if it's not a friend, maybe it is a therapist. Maybe it's a coworker, whatever it is. I feel like everybody should have at least one person that they can at least bounce stuff off of, because getting the perspective from a different side, even though it doesn't change necessarily right away, it's just like, I'm here for you. I got you. I understand that you're going through this shit, and I'm right here in your corner. We're good.
Right.
You call me whenever you need to.
Exactly. And look, it's not discounting anybody who's going. Look, I've been in bad spots, bro. Bad spots. You know what I mean?
And sometimes we're our own worst enemy when it comes
spots.
to
that. Bad, like damn, right? All the way around. And what's got me out of that is, and I had to make real choices. I had to make, I had to self-reflect. I had to reach out. I had to talk to people. I had to, I had to do these things, right? And, I get it. Not everybody has a support system the way other people do. I have a strong support system and really always have. And so I get that a lot of people don't have that. But, a couple of things. First, you'll be surprised, even if you don't get advice from somebody, how many people will just let you get your shit off.
Yeah.
Randos.
Yeah.
Like, go to a grocery store and find a guy that's working there.
Yeah.
You can go in there and tell that motherfucker your whole life, and he'd be like, "Oh, damn, that's crazy, dog.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, my wife just left me. The dog ran out. My kids hate me. Damn, so I'm up here getting broccoli. God damn, man. I hope it gets better for you." And sometimes you just letting your shit off. You just like, damn.
You said something just really quick there, and I think this is really important. It can legit be like that.
Just getting your shit off, dog.
Like just letting it go.
Just saying that shit out loud.
And then, but somebody saying, man, I'm pulling for you. I hope that gets better.
I hope you get better, dog.
You know, those words seem kind of stupid and minuscule in a sense, right? But they're not. And I kind of wanted to talk about this too.
Okay.
Because this kind of actually leads into it. Because it's being kind to people.
Yes, man.
And look at, man, I think we have a real, as humans, right? We've been pitted against each other for a while, whether it be black, white, whether it be Democrat, Republican, you name it, right? It's like
male,
if you're this way, you shouldn't like this. If you don't, and I think what people need to understand, we all have through lines with each other. Like I don't, because it could legit be something as simple as, oh, you like the Arizona Cardinals? Me too.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a simple through line. But that might be it, but it's still, right? So it's just being kind to somebody because they're just human. You don't have to like them. Right. You don't have to be friends with them.
Right.
That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying simple kindness goes a long way. And again,
a long way.
We've talked about this before, right? And again, it's so interesting how we're kind of back at this point of holding the door open for somebody might actually make their day. A simple hello, how are you doing with a complete stranger might actually change somebody's day. You never know what impact you have on somebody. That is a good, simple way to repair somebody's brokenness.
And in inclusion with that, what you'll find, and I want to give if I can give a personal experience, is that because you do that, energy's weird, bruh. It's weird. It's weird, guys. It's weird when you give out good energy, even when you don't want to, how your day will totally flip. So, a couple things. So, one thing that I saw is like, you know, I tell you all the time, I'm in a constant state of self-evaluation. Constant. Like, I'm just like, how can I get better? How can I get better? What can I? And I'm telling you right now, I fail 8 out of 10 times, but I keep trying those 10. And so one of the things that I've been seeing is like, life is too precious, right? And if we really understood how much hellos and goodbyes meant, right?
Right.
How important they are, because you never know when they're the last time.
Right.
You're going to say to anybody, whoever it is. So I really try to work on it, right? Because a lot of times, like, all right, cool. All right, see you. Like, nah, man. Love you, man. See you later.
Right.
Hey, you have a great day.
Have a great, yeah.
So like my family left, went to the store yesterday, came back. I was like, man, welcome back home, y'all. Oh, what's going on? Nah, just welcome back. I'm glad to see y'all back. You know, and then in talking what you talked about, sometimes it could be a hello. So one thing that I do at work,
because
at
it's
my 9 to 5,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
I just want to, because it's a simple acknowledgement of somebody existing.
Man, let me.
It legit, dude, because some people don't get that. Like, they feel invisible to the world, right? So that's why I say that. Like, just a simple hello to somebody is an acknowledgement that you saw them and that they exist.
Right.
That is huge to certain people.
It's huge. And what you'll find out. So one thing that I try to do at work, man, is I try to say hello. I'm not perfect, but sometimes I'm like in a thinking mood and I'm just like,
right.
But I really, even no matter what mood I'm in, I really try to be like, man, what's up? What's up? I got nicknames for goddamn near everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and the motherfuckers will respond by their nicknames. I'll be like, hey, Boski. Yeah. Hey, you good, bro? How you doing? You good? Hey, money time. What's up, baby? And bro, that shit. Now what you start to feel like It's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm bouncing. I was exhausted on the way to work.
Right.
Now I'm like, let's get some shit done, baby.
Yeah.
I'm doing the motherfucking salsa and shit. Let's go. And what you'll start to see, watch how they react. Watch how they interact with everybody else.
Right.
They will turn around and be like, hey, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's it going?
Right.
So put a stick up my ass, call me a corn dog. It's good to see you.
No, but it's true.
But it's so true, bro.
I also want to say this, too. If you can't see it, it's okay. Because almost guaranteed, because like, especially if it's convenience store or whatever, right? A regular store, it doesn't matter, whatever. You're just out. You hold the door open. Man, have an awesome day.
Man.
You don't know what that...
Have a great day.
You have no idea what that did for somebody.
Have a great day, bro.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
You have no idea what that can do to somebody. Have no clue.
Do you understand how many times you will say that, and the reaction, like, oh man, thanks.
You know when I was younger, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but when I was younger, I liked when men in particular would say something to me, but speak to me as a grown-up, as a kid.
For sure.
There is something about that. Yeah. And I've always remembered that. So when I see a kid like that's, I'm like, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Always.
There's something about like treating just normal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously a little baby is different, but I'm talking like, it's 7, 8, 9. Like
hey,
you coming in. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What's up, big dog? You good? Oh, I still got some
I'll tell you what, man. Even as a kid,
man,
because just to bring it back around,
man,
showing that kid,
man,
dude, what's up, man? How you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that. I remember that as a kid. Like, I can remember specific instances. Random strangers, by the way, would be like, "Hey, bro, how you doing, man?" And I'm like, "I'm good." Like a little me.
Oh, he's about to get kidnapped, low key.
That could be legit, but I'm just saying, like genuine people, like that can change you,
man,
and that makes you feel good. It makes you feel seen. It makes you feel kind of like you're a part of some, even if it's for a couple seconds.
Man,
it makes you feel a part of something.
So I want to throw a challenge out there, man, to everybody. Just real quick while we're inside of this conversation before I forget. I challenge you, man, to next time you go out, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a convenience store, wherever it is, right? Where the next spot you go to, man, do something kind for a stranger. Hold the door, say hello, say how's your day. Sometimes they might, and if you're an introvert, I get it. But maybe if you're an introvert, when you get to the counter, man, or your orders being taken at the table, notice the person's name badge.
I was going to say pay attention a little bit. Just your surroundings.
Call them by their name.
Mm-hmm.
Man, thank you, Rachel. Man, thank you, Brian. You know what I'm saying?
That's a really good one.
I'm using the white people names. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
No, but it is true. Would you call somebody like when you see
when you be like, man,
there's this dude Hank
Darnell, man, I appreciate you, dog.
There's this
Darnell
dude,
be like, man, I'm coming back with extra fries, my guy. Hold on.
I did that the other day. I was at the getting some clothes and some shirts or something, and then there's a dude, and his name was Hank. I was like, Hank, have a good day, man. And dude, he lit up when I used his name, man. Like, it kind of we both had smiles on our face when I left the store.
Yeah,
and it was like, man, Ryan, you too. And he knew my name, my government name.
You spit out the government.
It doesn't matter. It's my name, and it's on my card. It's on my driver's license. I have to show, when I'm using my credit card or whatever. And to get that in that reciprocated back and forth probably made both of our days.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I agree. I think that's a good challenge for anybody because everybody's got to go somewhere at a certain point. Say hello,
man.
Just be like,
man, have a great day.
Yeah.
Man.
And it could be something like have a great day because that is like in passing in if you are super introverted to do something that way because that's in passing and it doesn't require much of a response afterwards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like to be involved in some sort of conversation.
Right.
So that is a good one to be like, hey, have a great day.
I got a question for you. I don't mean to cut you off. I got a question for you. Do you ever find yourself being out? And this all goes back to being broken, because a lot of these things, bro, we have these phones, we have these devices in our hands, and that is how we get our social interaction. You know what I'm saying? I saw something happen today where a guy was waiting, like, to do something, to get something, and he like stood there weirdly and just stood there. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, bro, just say excuse me, dog. Like,
right.
And people can't even do that anymore because we're so afraid to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I do in that situation real quick?
Yeah.
I'm usually like, man, just go ahead.
Oh, man. Me too.
Like, just go. It doesn't matter to me.
I look back, I'm like, but sometimes you don't see them. Sometimes they be standing in a weird spot.
It's true. Sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes they kind of like in a weird, it's just like, man, go right ahead, or man, go ahead. You know, or that type of thing.
Like, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
I got to get that pepper jack. But do you ever find yourself like you'll see somebody dope, or somebody has something dope on, or whatever, like you see somebody you want to compliment, and I don't mean like in a like flirtatious manner as far as like a female or whatever, but like you'll see somebody you want to compliment and like you won't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you something,
bro.
Right
I'm telling you right now. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you something. I've gotten really good at this. Probably ever since we started doing this show, to be honest with you, bro.
Okay.
Like, because my confidence level in the sense of talking to people.
Right.
Like, I was always just like on the fence about talking to people. Like, I would sometimes, I wouldn't sometimes.
Right.
But these days, like, I see something like your shirt, dude. And I saw you somewhere. I mean, I do that as a dope shirt. I like it. And usually that, like, dude, that triggers. That's something too. The hat, whatever, the kicks. Man, I tell you what, and like like you said, it's in a non like flirtatious, because I do it to dudes and women, like both the same. Like,
damn, you looking fly as hell out here.
Yeah,
God,
man.
Damn.
Like I tell you, man, complimenting people like in that,
man, you have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have, and that's the other thing, man. It's like and sometimes it's good for you too. Again, it's good for you, man, to get that interaction. You know what I'm saying? When we're kids, bro, you know, kids naturally want to go and play and interact with other human beings. That's why kids are always stuck to you as a parent. My kids I'll be like, man, get the fuck away from me, man. You know what I mean? Like, go do something. Go, no. We here.
Right.
I'm here with you. Okay. But they naturally want to, I think we naturally, from the time we come out of the womb, bro, we need that interaction. We need that interaction with other people. And we lose that because we're told not to do it. We're told to stick to this or be this way or whatever. Right. And then we're told to look a certain way. We're told to dress a certain way. We're told not to dress a certain way. We're told to talk a certain way. We're told not to talk a certain. There's so many things we're told what to do and what not to do, and to the point where we're so confused, and we hit 14. Then there's hair everywhere. And all kind of shit happening. And then we're in college, and then there's some weird shit going on. And then now, nigga, you got bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's life, right?
That is life. Yes.
And so by that time, unless you're in a field, a career that you have to use your voice and be social, you know, you don't really, and now again, with the way that our lives are now, with phones and devices and computers and TV and blah, 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 accessibility, everything, it has taken away the social part of life. And so I think we have to remember that we have to be interactive with each other. We have to be social with each other. To your point, we don't have to be best friends. We don't even damn near have to be acquaintances.
We don't even have to necessarily like that.
We don't even got to like each other on that level. But
right.
But we need. But if we make a conscious effort to treat everybody around us with some level of kindness. Yeah, I want you jump in anytime you want, bro.
I want to.
You know me,
I
I'll
kind of
go
want
off.
to. I kind of want to end it here, though,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
I think this is kind of interesting. Kind of want to get your point or your feelings on this as well.
Let's do it.
I think we are broken.
Yes,
as a people.
Yeah,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the kindness to people, but I think there's really kind of another 1 to 2 things to think about. And I don't want to get too hippie on you or anybody else out there, but I really feel like we've been disconnected from this planet that we live on.
That's a fact.
I think that's a big part of it.
That's huge.
And so from the animals to the planet to the people.
Yep.
Right? Like
Yep.
however you want to
mold
those
that,
3,
flip it,
whatever. It doesn't matter. They're all, to me, we're all interconnected.
Right. And
I really think we really need to get back to the basics of being on this planet, bro. Like we've lost sight. This is our only home.
Yeah.
We've got nowhere else to go.
Right.
We are literally floating through space emptiness.
Right.
There's nowhere to go as far as our knowledge of human beings get.
Right.
It's too impossible to travel. We can't get anywhere else. This is our only home.
Right.
We destroy each other. We destroy the animals, and we destroy this planet.
Yep.
We need to stop. We need to quit breaking everything around us and get back to some sort of yin and yang type of thing.
Facts.
Everything needs to be balanced, and we are so out of balance and so broken.
1,000%.
And I just kind of wanted to throw that in there because I really, man, I talk about it with my mom. I talk about, like, it's been a constant theme for me lately, and I'm just like, we're just out of touch with almost reality.
With everything. Yeah. Facts.
Step outside.
Man.
You don't have to go to the woods.
Right. Right.
To see trees.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or shrubs or whatever, or little lizards or it doesn't matter where you're at, man. Just go outside and look at where you're at.
Right.
It's pretty amazing where we're at.
Pretty dope.
And we've really lost sight of this beautiful planet that we live on.
I agree.
So I just didn't know if you felt the same way or not.
I agree.
But I don't want to just
1,000%. Yeah.
You know?
I'm with you.
Okay.
Well, you guys let us know in the comment section below. Are we broken? What can we do to fix it? Do you guys agree with our points? Do you disagree with our points? Let us know. If you guys have any topics to throw back at us that you guys want us to talk about, let us know as well. You know what to do, man. Tell them what they got to do.
You guys stay safe. Love each other.
Yeah.
And stay positive out there.
And as always, this is The Gray Space. Peace.